The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome. This is TV1 News. I'm Carol Kidu Jr.
And I'm Rex Litter. Join me later in the sports segment.
In this edition, harsh penalty for vandalism, ABG and PNG government meet, and PNG men's cricket team named. Member for Lae John Rosso has issued a strong warning to opportunists who vandalized public assets, especially streetlights. He warned that those who intentionally damage properties will be evicted from Lae.
Infrastructural development is evident in Lae City under the leadership of current MP John Rosso. Some significant changes include new concrete roads and the installation of streetlights in all suburbs, including those in the Miles area. During the 24-hour power outage experienced in Lae from the evening of May 1st to May 2nd, residents at the 11-mile area cut down a streetlight. This is not a first-of-its-kind incident. A number of solar streetlights have been vandalized and stolen in the past couple of weeks.
Mito reiterated. This old street light where you go walk about Loyame, police find them out, sample finish, or pick them all up. They will be prosecuted. But not only prosecuted, I mean, Pine this Papa, Mama, household, I will evict them from the city of Lae. You know, look at the law, you see I'm going inside the Lae, I will evict you. Me no care of vote, I will evict you. You must aren't talk, na start, na live as a human being in the city of Lae.
The Lae MP says he has the support of Governor Luther Wenge to make sure people respect public assets.
I've given instructions to the CEO so that eviction notices will go out to whoever picking in blue was on the street light. So blame me picking in blue, not going to blame me the governor.
Kamala Guare, TV1 News, Lae.
A 60-year-old man has been committed today to stand trial at the National Court for false pretense and with intent to defraud a woman by claiming to be a consultant with the Department of Lands. 60-year-old William Puyo was committed by the Wagani District Court to stand trial after his lawyer failed to supply the defense submission to the court. Presiding Magistrate Paul Purini committed the accused under Section 94B of the District Code Act, which states that the court has the power to commit the accused without looking at the police evidence. The alleged complaint of conspiracy to defraud and stealing by false pretense was laid by Helen McMick against William Puyo, Billy Puyo, William's son, and Thomas Kandaki, freelance agent, about the sale and purchase of a property at Korobosia, prescribed as allotment to Section 87, Volume 20, Folio 2482, Port Moresby, NCD. It was reported that the crimes were committed between April 2021. It was alleged that on the 21st of April 2021 and May 2021, Billy and Thomas were arrested and charged in March 2023, while William was on the run until February this year when he was apprehended and charged and now committed to stand trial. William appears for trial on May 13th. The joint supervisory board meeting between the autonomous Bougainville government and the PNG government convened today at the APEC House in Port Moresby. Prime Minister James Marape, when officially opening the meeting, welcomed President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Ismail Torama, and his delegation and other leaders to the event.
Prime Minister James Marape, when at the JSB meeting today, assured the people of Bougainville that the PNG government is committed to the Bougainville Peace Agreement. Marape also reminded the ABG delegation of the resolutions in their last JSB meeting last July. In the resolution of that meeting, both parties agreed that the mechanisms for bringing forward the result of the Bougainville referendum would be by way of a seasonal order. The resolution also empowered the two ministers, Minister for Bougainville Affairs Manasseh Makiba and his ABG counterpart Ezekiel Massat, to engage in consultations on the nature and form of the seasonal order, particularly in relation to the question to be put to the National Parliament about the Bougainville referendum result, the voting majority that would be required for Parliament to endorse, and the broader manner in which the results would be tabled. In determining the voting threshold for any decision that Parliament may make, Marape says the national government must be guided by legal advice with respect to the approach that should be followed.
The construct of the peace agreement gave us a window of 15 years to work. Maybe leaders today can construct another time capsule, a time period, where we will work together if Parliament has a handle on Bougainville and doesn't dispense questions put into Parliament in the manner in which Bougainville feel Parliament should treat the Bougainville referendum results. I want to give assurance to Bougainville, your aspirations will not be killed in a one Parliament session.
Another point that the Prime Minister raised was the legal nature of the referendum. He stressed that the referendum is sanctioned by our national constitution, and the organic law on peace building outlines in detail the arrangements that applied to the conduct of the referendum.
Bougainvilleans must not fear our national parliament, and as national parliamentarians, we must not fear Bougainville. Let's find a meeting place where we do not have the aspirations of Bougainville, but at the same time, we preserve our national union.
However, President of the Autonomous Bougainville, Ismail Toroama, says they believed that they are correct in law to recommend for a simple majority, since the question to the National Parliament to endorse the referendum result is a simple ordinary motion of Parliament.
The government through the Parliament will bless the outcome of the vote, no matter what the result was. The fact of the matter is that we did not know what the referendum question is and what the results will be, but we have made a deal to accept whatever the referendum outcome is.
Toroama also warned the government that if they do not resolve the issue of the referendum, JSB is now bound to engage a moderator to address this.
I appeal to all good people of Papua New Guinea to see the course we have pursued in our quest for independence.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission has announced the new retail fuel prices for this month, which took effect today. For this month, the indicative retail prices for petrol, diesel and kerosene will increase on average throughout Papua New Guinea.
The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission informs that the retail price increases are mainly attributed to the average increase in international crude oil and refined product prices in April 2024. The increase in prices was due to crude oil supply disruptions caused by escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. The domestic retail fuel prices for this month are inclusive of the import parity prices, or the imported cost for each petroleum product, domestic sea and road freight rates for the first quarter of 2024, the annual wholesale and retail margins for 2024, and the goods and services tax, including the applicable excise duties, among other parameters. As a result of adding all the various cost components mentioned above, the maximum retail price movements for petrol, diesel and kerosene in Port Moresby for this month are petrol 4 kina 84 toya, diesel 4 kina 45 toya, and kerosene 4 kina 6 toya. Retail prices in all other designated centers will change accordingly to their quarterly approved domestic freight rates for the first quarter of 2024 and their respective annual retail margins for this year. For all other centers, the maximum retail prices for each regulated petroleum product will all increase on average, consistent with the increases observed for Port Moresby. As part of the ICCC's enforcement and compliance of fuel prices, the investigation officers will conduct inspections of all service stations to ensure prices of declared petroleum products comply with the allowable maximum prices. ICCC inspectors will continue to conduct spot checks after 8 May 2024 to ensure ongoing compliance by retail fuel operators. Mary Stella Kelleton, TV1 News.
Papua New Guinea is among 4 other Pacific countries facing increase in violence against children, according to Save the Children report. The report highlights that more than 80% of the 110 child protection professionals surveyed in PNG, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Tonga and Fiji said emotional, physical and sexual violence had increased. Save the Children is calling for governments across the region to continue to show leadership in ending violence against children by urgently prioritizing relevant legislative and policy reform, including the child protection system. Save the Children has been working in the Pacific region for more than 50 years and has offices and programs in PNG, Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands and Tonga. They work with its governments, local partners and communities to deliver child protection, healthcare, education, disaster risk reduction and climate resilience programs. You're watching TV1 News. NICTA donates to appeal and Gulf urge to prepare. We'll have those stories and more when we return.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic get up a big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Magic, the taste PNG loves.
Open nets.
Favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook, and with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Catch the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. on HBO Family.
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous.
It's gone a long way.
Oh, look at this. Big hit.
Welcome back. As of today, a report from BSP details declining investor confidence in Papua New Guinea, attributed to ongoing law and order problems, foreign exchange shortages, and rising inflation. Group General Manager for Corporate Banking at BSP, Peter Beswick, noted that despite the operational restart at Porgera, investment sentiment is affected by increased business costs and irregular utilities, compounded by a fuel supply halt earlier in the year. The recent Black Wednesday riots have further established the business environment, with affected companies still awaiting government relief. Despite these challenges, there is optimism for medium-term growth driven by promising resource projects. The East-Sepik Appeal 2024 today received 20,000 kina worth of donations from the National ICT Authority of Papua New Guinea. This is the final week of donations as the Wantok of Sepik team and its volunteers will be preparing to seal, pack and ship off the disaster relief items off to Wewak, East Sepik Province.
On 24 March 2024, an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9 on the Richter scale took place in the early morning with moderate to strong shaking felt in areas near the epicenter, and lighter shaking was likely felt in other parts of northern Papua New Guinea. Over 70 villages along the Sepik River were affected by the flood of the earthquake that occurred in the East Sepik province at a depth of about 35 kilometers east-northeast of Ambunti. The disaster kicked off a countrywide disaster relief appeal with many donations from government-led support from the national government and its bilateral partners, schools, state agencies, businesses, and individuals alike. Today, the East Sepik Appeal 2024 received 20,000 kina worth of donations from the National ICT Authority of Papua New Guinea.
They approached us a few weeks ago and to donate cash of 20,000, and we advised them that it would be good for us, good for them to purchase the items and then donate them to us. So they brought in 20 liters of containers, a couple of bales of mosquito nets, a couple of boxes of plates and cooking utensils, and a couple of tents. So we plan to ship those by the end of the week, and it will take about 2 weeks or so in order for the items to get to Wewak. We are thankful that Consort Shipping has come on board to ship those containers free of charge over to Wewak. And also we're thankful that Motors have donated cars to help distribute those items to the affected areas at the Pagui waterfront and also at the Angaram waterfront.
This is the final week for anyone or organizations willing to make donations. Over this coming weekend, all donations will be packed and sealed and put in the containers ready to be shipped off to Wewak.
And so whoever is still want to come in and donate, you can come and find us here at the Paru Yard at the Sir John Guy Stadium. But those that was willing to make cash or donation in cash, we've got a bank account number. The name of the account is East Sepik Disaster Appeal. The account number is 0000 40 6802. It's at the Waigani BSP Bank.
Mary Silla Kelleton, TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape has called on the residents of Gulf Province to prepare to supply goods and services to the forthcoming Papua LNG project and the Wildebeest LNG project. The focus will be on local agriculture and fisheries for food supplies, forestry for timber and tourism to accommodate the surge of workers and visitors expected. Marape said this during the opening of the Kerema District SME and Women's Microbank branch. He announced a funding of 3 million kina to initiate the SME project and an additional 10 million kina granted to the Kerema District Development Authority for enhancements at the Kerema Airport. Prime Minister Marape also disclosed the Cabinet's decision to appoint Augustine Mano, the Managing Director of the Mineral Resources Development Company, as the Chairman of the Gulf Provincial Health Authority. Octady Mining has strengthened its commitment to sustainable development by becoming a gold sponsor of the 2024 Geoscience Exploration and Extraction, or GEE, conference and exhibition, donating 100,000 kina to support the event. The conference, scheduled for August 7th to the 9th in Port Moresby, will focus on sustainable practices and innovations in geosciences, aiming to foster global and inclusive growth in sustainable development goals. Has recently stepped up as a major gold sponsor, officially presenting a 100,000 kina dummy check to the Mineral Resources Authority. The GEE conference, organized by MRA, is set to take place from August 7th to the 9th, 2024 at APEC House in Port Moresby. This marks the second iteration of the biennial event, which aims to serve as a platform for professionals in the mining and geosciences sector to exchange knowledge and foster innovation. The event was held in 2022. OTML's General Manager of Social Performance and Sustainability, Jesse Pile, and Manager of Corporate Affairs, Dexter Wagambi, handed over the check to Jerry Gary, the patron of the GEE conferences and Managing Director of MRA. Gary expressed deep appreciation for OTML's generous contribution, highlighting its crucial role in facilitating the staging of the conference. Gary emphasized the significance of the conference as a unique forum for sharing research and advancements in the field, which had been lacking in Papua New Guinea for the past 2 to 3 decades. He appealed to other industry stakeholders to support the initiative, which he described as an appropriate avenue for advancing scientific community growth within the country. Pile commented on OTML's commitment to supporting such significant events, noting the company's long-standing and positive relationship with MRA, and praising the authority's professionalism. He emphasized the importance of the conference in contributing to national development through research and human resources development. The conference will bring together leading academics, scientists, and researchers from both PNG and around the world, and aims to discuss the latest innovations, trends, and practical solutions in geological exploration and mineral extraction, providing a platform for all stakeholders involved. And now to the finance news. The kina closed 2 points lower at $0.2619 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2544, $0.3831 Australian dollars, $0.2291 euro, and 39.07 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, and copper closed higher. Crude oil closed lower, and copra and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher. TVWAN News continues after the break with news making headlines overseas. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Every day, because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG
PNG Mia. Prime PNG made.
Hari mo the rice lovers. Mi plaga 300,000 kina scale school money long win him. Sans belong you win him 1,000 kina. 300 per lucky line by winning inside long 4 plus fortnight. Sans belong you win a big plus thread. By 1 kg he going up 20 kg scale or ori rice. Cut him this stamp na put him inside long envelope and the full name na contact details long you. Na drop him inside long entry box long store. Promotion by Pinis long March 29, 2024. Hurry up now win big plus one scale na ori rice. Piani mi long social media long save more. Terms not conditionista.
Beauty is my business. But beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy. So bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager, Bougainville.
Oh, he's got it! Victory for Holger Rune. He takes out the world #1, the top seed and the 6-time champion.
After the success of her first restaurant in Goa, Sarah Todd is doing it all again.
Oh my God, it's happening!
This time in Mumbai.
It's pretty hectic here, people everywhere.
New location.
Exciting, but crazy at the same time.
And a whole new set of problems.
I've got some bad news.
There's so much pressure coming from every angle. Why am I doing it again?
My second restaurant in India. A brand new series coming soon on Outdoor.
Here's Rodrigo, fainting away, side netting from Rodrigo. And in front of the Stretford end, Kingsley Coman gives Bayern Munich the lead.
Welcome back. The federal government has announced it will spend between $14 billion and $18 billion upgrading and hardening defence bases across Australia's north as the Australian Defence Force pivots towards security threats in the Indo-Pacific region. Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy announced the spending at a defence industry convention in Darwin on Wednesday, promising the funding would benefit local businesses and workers. He said the government was focused on hardening and developing bases in the Northern Territory, as well as other installations in northern Western Australia and North Queensland. China has accused Australia of provocative actions following a recent military confrontation over international waters. The incident escalated when flares were fired toward an Australian helicopter, forcing the pilot to undertake urgent evasive maneuvers. The Albanese government has strongly condemned this behavior as unsafe and unprofessional. Defence correspondent Andrew Green provides further insights into the ongoing tensions between the two nations, ABC reports.
Off the South Korean coast, an Australian warship's helping enforce UN sanctions against Kim Jong-un's regime. Last weekend, this Seahawk chopper was operating from HMAS Hobart over international waters of the Yellow Sea when it was intercepted by a Chinese military jet.
The actions of the Chinese military were irresponsible and very concerning.
Like with this encounter involving the Americans last year,
Flares.
the People's Liberation Army aircraft fired flares towards the path of the Australian helicopter.
Certainly it's unsafe because it could have had significant implications for the navigational safety of the Seahawk.
The confrontation coming 24 hours after Australia, the United States, Japan and the Philippines vowed to step up collective efforts to counter Beijing's military assertiveness in the region. And just days after Australia's Navy chief confronted his Chinese counterpart over last November's dangerous sonar attack against HMAS Toowoomba, also in international waters.
We have made very strong representations at every level to China about this incident, which we regard as unprofessional and unacceptable.
No defence personnel were injured in this latest incident, but Australia's increasingly concerned about China's behaviour to the north, where the risks of future miscalculations are growing. And despite the diplomatic and military protests, Beijing's standing firm and accusing Australia of being provocative. And China's in turn launched its own protest.
The Tasmanian Aboriginal Centre has expressed outrage after ancestral remains were delivered to its office in brown paper bags. The incident has also drawn a strong reaction from the government, which stated it is deeply disappointed and is considering whether revisions are necessary to the coroner's rules to prevent such occurrences in the future.
Years ago, a leg bone was found at a beach in Tasmania's southeast. Last week, it and other human remains were dropped off at the Tasmanian Aboriginal Centre.
That a police officer had walked in off the street and handed over brown paper bags containing the remains of the bodies of our ancestors.
Nala Mansell says there was no warning from the coroner's office about the delivery of the ancestral remains.
This is our family members, so to have to go through that trauma of having the remains of someone, a relative, dropped off in a brown paper bag is just so disrespectful.
The leg bone was found at Carlton Beach near Hobart in 2022. The other remains were found on Tasmania's remote west coast near Low Rocky Point in 2016. In his findings, the coroner says it was only through recent forensic testing and radiocarbon dating that it became clear they were Aboriginal remains because the bones were more than 1,000 years old. The Tasmanian Aboriginal Centre says it should have been advised about the discoveries when the bones were first found. The Greens say the handling of the situation has been appalling.
And it is a stain on our government and the institutions of the government that an act like this would still occur today.
The Tasmanian government says it's seeking advice about the appropriateness of existing provisions in the Coroner's Act.
I've been deeply saddened to hear of the reports of how that situation was managed. I don't think any of us in our communities would find that in any way acceptable.
Plans are now underway for a cultural burial of the ancestral remains. The coroner's office declined to comment.
This year's Met Gala, often dubbed the Super Bowl of fashion, has once again lived up to its reputation. Held in New York, the star-studded event served as a fundraiser that showcased an array of memorable moments with celebrities donning custom creations. The gala continues to be a highlight in the fashion calendar, bringing together unique designs and high-profile attendees.
Penelope, that smile, Penelope! Let's hop in the middle!
Big names and bold designs grace the white and green carpet at New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. The official dress code, the Garden of Time, is open to the interpretation of designers, with some taking it more literally than others.
Hold up the sand!
Australia's Queen of Pop is back for her first Met Gala in 10 years.
It's as if this was denim, and in the Garden of Time, over hundreds of years, whatever, it's just kind of dissolved away on the body.
The other Australians in the room, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, opted for a more classic look.
while Chris Hemsworth and his wife Elsa channeled a modern-day prince and princess. The bigger, the better for celebrities like Cardi B and Gigi Hadid.
Gigi!
While Zendaya wowed the crowd with not one,
The front of the dress, please, the front!
but 2 costumes. Vogue runs the invitation-only fundraising dinner at $100,000 a ticket and raises funds for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute to preserve fashion history.
In a time when everything is so fractious, we need events that bring people together, that celebrate human commonality and the good things about humanity. And one of the good things is to preserve our communal history.
Making a fashion statement like no other.
The Northern Territory government's $515 million shiplift project, which had previously faced significant cost overruns and delays, is now progressing as planned. A contract has been awarded to a U.S. company to construct the facility. Construction has commenced at the Middle Arms site, with the shiplift expected to be operational by the end of 2026.
History, the government says, is now over.
We're determined to have a quality, high quality shiplift here in Darwin, and that's the work that's underway.
After almost a decade of delay, Darwin's embattled shiplift project, which has seen costs blow out from $100 million to more than $500 million, is now pegged to see large vessels docking for maintenance and repairs in 2 years.
Today we're talking about a $48 million tender that's going to Pearson Shiplift Contracting.
The government says the taxpayer-funded facility will be a big boost to the economy.
We think it will be a moneymaker. We see it as an industry that's going to grow grow across Australia, grow worldwide.
It's a project both sides of politics back.
We are in a great place in the Northern Territory, and we're in a defence-wise in a very strategic location. And a project of this size now into the future will certainly benefit the Territory, but we need to make sure that the business case stacks up.
The Navy was a critical and early supporter of the project. Its ongoing commitment now uncertain, with the Chief Minister unable to confirm a contract.
Some of those discussions are happening now.
This Darwin-based defence expert says the project is critical for Australia's security.
It is a response to sort of changes in the geopolitical situation, but while I don't think there's necessarily an immediate threat, the issue is it's an important part of strengthening defence infrastructure around the country. Right now, larger defence and allied vessels would need to go elsewhere in the country to have major repair works conducted.
The government says the project will be a jobs boost for the Territory, requiring up to 250 workers for the construction phase.
And that ends the news segment. Over to you, Rex.
Thanks, Carol. After the break, Barras named for the ICC T20 World Cup and Hunters return to winner's circle.
This honking is doing your head in. Why don't you go and put a stop to it? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bing bing bang, bum bum.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
The PNG LNG project has a positive and long-lasting impact on the whole country. Revenue is delivered through 5 streams. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Payo bong kain heavy long walkabout blong you long displa ground. Tasol also mon pla public servant, healthcare, life insurance na family security blong you emi big plus something throw. National Public Service New Care Association or PSNA. Emi partner blong you long healthcare, life insurance na too long strong in financial security blong you. One time PSNA, you na family blong you by kisim good plan na quality service. Abayo na too long buy him all bill blong you one time smart card ID blong Mipla. Join in Public Service New Care Association now. Long wana Mipla, he can look out in destiny blong you. PSNA, I mean partner blong you. Long look out in health blong you now. Long come up in good plus sit down blong you. Long behind time.
You're so cool. Let's go blow this guy.
Blow this guy away.
Whatever. I'm the one they should be scared of.
Make way! Sultan Mehmet Khan has arrived.
Thanks for staying with us. The PNG Hunters are back to a winning run, following Sunday's comprehensive win over Townsville Blackhawks in Round 8 of the QRL Host Plus Cup in Townsville. The Hunters led 24-16 at halftime before the floodgates opened, up in the second half running in 5 unanswered tries for their first away win in 2024. Hunters halfback Jamie Mavoko had a field day kicking 8 from 9 attempts.
Finally, there's light at the end of the tunnel for PNG Hunters, after recording their first and biggest away win against Townsville Blackhawks in Townsville on Sunday. The Hunters put on a decent performance to outplay their Townsville rival 52-16 to pick up their third win of the season. The animated Hunters coach said the boys are starting to understand their system and process as a team, and the focus on reducing errors and penalty counts.
Visually prepared. I think we're understanding our system and processes a lot more in our team, and it's starting to show. And a big thing is also our errors and penalties. We've reduced that by quite a lot. There's been a real big focus for us. We can hold the ball and give ourselves that much of a chance, well, they have to tackle us for that much more tackles, and that's hard to do against our boys. So a big focus on our errors and penalties, and yeah, just understanding our system and process a lot more and sticking to it, having faith in what we're doing. You know, don't stray away from what we're doing. Even when it seems like it's not working, it'll work. Just stay with it.
While not getting too carried away with the win, Coach Aiton's emphasis at training this week was to remain calm and stick to the game plan and process.
There were still some hard hits. There was a little bit of aggression towards the second half, I think, when they were getting a little bit frustrated with us. But yeah, looking forward to. We're the Hunters. We always look forward to a bit of aggression, but for us, it's controlled aggression, and they can be as aggressive as they like. We'll take that, and we'll just keep calm and stick to our game plan and our process.
Meantime, Jamie Mavoko's head injury assessment, Aiton said they will allow protocol to take its course, and he could miss this weekend's clash against Northern Pride. Aiton, however, was quite impressed with the work ethic of the Versalite Alex Max, who was in his element playing at centre and scoring a hat-trick, speaks a lot about the X-factor and individual brilliance he brings to the game.
Yeah, really good. We always knew that he could do individual brilliance like he did. It was just the minutes. That's why we played him off the bench early this season. We know he's a centre. We know all that. It's just when you're playing centre, obviously it's 80 minutes. You've got to stay there, and he had some issues in his lower back, but he managed the time really well. Worked really hard, like he always does at training and in the game. And I was really happy with his performance, and I'm happy for him. He had a big pre-season, and he's only just started playing footy last year, so in the Dem Cup. So very happy for Alex.
The Hunters will host Northern Pride this week, followed by Ipswich Jets the following week at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Cricket PNG today announced the men's national team Barramandis ahead of the second outing in the International Cricket Council or ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the West Indies. A boost to the team, as most of the players making the team featured in the 2021 World Cup.
Cricket PNG has assembled its best 15 men to participate in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Tournament 2024, scheduled for June 2nd to 30th in the West Indies. The team comprises both experienced and newbies and will once again skippered by Asadola Vala. Players selected for the World Cup tournament include Asad Vala, captain, Charles Amini, vice-captain, Chad Chopper, Hila Vare, Jack Gardner, Kabua Morea, Kibling Doriga, Lega Siaka, Norman Vanua, Sese Bao, Tony Ura, Alei Nao, Hiri Hiri, John Kariko and Sema Kamea. The Barramandis players gathered today at the Hamini Park for the team announcement before going into light drills and preparation ahead of their departure on May 13th. After announcing the team, Cricket PNG Chair Michael Harrison said the team will be having a few warm-up matches against Oman and Namibia leading up to World Cup tournament.
The PNG Barramandis will depart Port Moresby on the 13th of May and we'll go into a preparation camp for the 9 days before moving to Trinidad for the support period with 2 official warm-up matches. The first round matches commence on the 2nd of June 2024 with PNG taking on the West Indies.
Cricket PNG Chief Executive Officer Richard Dunn has shown faith in the team and wishes them best in the tour.
Congratulations to all the guys who are there. I know you've earned it. Expectations are that you just do the best you can do and play your best game, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So, we wish you all the luck in the world and for the tour, from the staff and from myself. So,
the Barras begin their campaign with a tough first-up encounter with host West Indies on June 2nd, before meeting Uganda on June 5th, with both sides likely hunting their first-ever victory at the tournament. They face Afghanistan on June 13th, before taking on East Asia Pacific heavyweights New Zealand to round out group stage action.
Ahead of their travel on 15th May for the ICC T20 Men's Cricket World Cup in the West Indies, the PNG Barramandis head coach Tatenda Taibu and skipper Asadola Vala are confident that the Barramandis team is prepared for the tournament.
The Barramandis head coach Tatenda Taibu is confident he has picked the best side for the ICC T20 World Cup in the West Indies. He said the preparation started in December 2023 with the 14-day camp in Brisbane and a month-long tour in India, Oman, Hong Kong and Malaysia.
So I am confident that we've really prepared, and I'm 100% sure that you're going to be excited. You're going to see some exciting things over the World Cup.
Taibu said he has picked the best team following those tours, and he is positive about the team he has assembled for the World Cup campaign. Meanwhile, the Barramandis captain Asadola Vala said the team preparation has been going well, with the coach leading the charge. He said the last 2 weeks have been tough, especially with strength and conditioning and skills training. But it is a very good preparation for the boys ahead of the very important event, World Cup. The ever-reliable skipper, who will be leading the team out for their second participation in the World Cup, said that there is not much change in the team. He said the team is intact. If experience is anything to go by, they have enough in the team.
A bit more experience from the last World Cup we went to. A lot of the boys have made their debuts 4 years ago, 5 years ago I think. The preparation wasn't as best as we would have liked. It was during the COVID period, so we didn't get the preparation as what we have been doing currently. So the boys are more prepared than last time we went. So I believe and I feel confident that we're gonna go out there and give everything we've got. But I believe that we're gonna get the win that we've been working really hard for, first World Cup win. So I believe in the boys, the coaching staff that have done the job to get us prepared.
On the injury front, the Barras are in good shape and are fully fit and focused on the event in the West Indies commencing next month. Vala added that it's a different feeling compared to the inaugural World Cup campaign in 2021. They are positive for this event. The PNG Barramandis plays the host West Indies for its first match of the tournament on June 2nd at the Guyana National Stadium, Guyana.
Port Moresby men's softball season proper moves into round 6 this weekend with some interesting matches on schedule. United Brothers will get an easy 2 points against Aviat Jets. Stingers' slowly peaking form will give the men in green defence a challenge. Brown Eagles should fly over Saints, while Kikila Cats, coming off 2 losses last weekend, will be looking for a win. They have a mammoth task ahead when they face competition frontrunners, Moni Plus Gazelle, who are undefeated so far. And in the main game, we have the informed Eastern Aces going up against the mighty Power. Bears are on bye. MBB Marlins will run into the 2024 Capital Rugby Union competition with pride after a much-needed sponsorship support from Theodist. The backing is Theodist's commitment to the community through sport as it elevates the club's participation in rugby.
Theodist Limited proudly announced its sponsorship of the MBB Marlins Rugby Union team this morning, May 8, 2024, marking a significant expansion into community and sports development in Papua New Guinea. The sponsorship aligns with Theodist's commitment to community development and social responsibility. It aims to leverage rugby union as a platform to foster grassroots enthusiasm for the sport, support community engagement efforts, and promote inclusivity within and through the sport. Theodist CEO Kumar Balia emphasized the sponsorship's potential to not only boost the team's performance, but also to strengthen community ties and inspire future generations in Papua New Guinea.
We've since invested in some equipment for them to train in. We've started having a look at the field that they're in. We help them with some lights and so forth so that they can do some training. We're looking at a few other bits and pieces of how we can support the team. They were very keen to get uniforms going very fast, so we had to fast track that because the season is starting right about now, so they needed the uniforms in place. So we were quite happy to get involved. It's a community that a lot of our staff in. It's a community where we also operate in, and it's great to be part of the team.
As part of the sponsorship, Theodist has provided the Marlins with branded jerseys and essential training equipment, positioning in the team for significant influence and success in the local rugby union scene.
So this sponsorship to us means a lot. In the last, basically, me and my family have been supporting the club in the last 7 years since its formation. And this corporate sponsorship means to us credibility, it brings to us integrity, it brings to us a level of trust back into the community and for the club.
Jersey number 2 playing hooker for the Marlins. Mainowa Karimo is new to the team and expressed gratitude for this pivotal collaboration.
In this past couple of years, we're since the clubs joined CRU Capital Rugby Union in 2018, we never received any sponsorship like this. But this year, 2024, it's a very impactful year for the MBB Marlins, and it's a big blessing to the team.
The strategic partnership between Theodis Limited and the Theodis MBB Marlins is set to foster significant growth in local rugby, enhance community engagement, and promote inclusivity, paving the way for a transformative impact in Papua New Guinea's sports culture. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sports.
The Theodist MBB Marlins, led by head coach Rawali Bokwik, are preparing rather intensifying preparations for the upcoming games. Thanks to recent sponsorships, the team has seen an uplift in morale and is better equipped with necessary gear, eliminating previous shortages of essential supplies. A fundraising event for May 18th to support further needs. Training has improved with reliable evening lightings, allowing sessions to commence without delay. The team faces a tough challenge this weekend against top team Harlequins, but coach Bokwik is optimistic for a good result.
We take one of the two top teams this weekend, Harlequins. We know it's going to be a really tough game for us. In our first outing against our Premier Grade, against University Piggies, they're one of the top clubs as well. So we didn't fare well with them. Our Premier Grade didn't fare well with them. But we're looking forward to this game this weekend. In terms of preparation, we've been prepping really hard to take on, one of the top 4 teams in the club here.
That's all we have in sports. Carol.
Thank you, Rex. And now we'll have the weather forecast for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby partly cloudy with chances of brief showers. Momase, Lae cloudy with possible showers. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau and Kavieng some rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Highlands, Mount Hagen partly cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Ocean forecast, coral seas rough with southeast winds of 20 to 34 knots. Coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG and Indonesian border to Daru, to Kiwai Islands, Kerema to Yule Island, Hood Point to Samari Island, Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 to 3 meters along warning areas. And that ends another edition of TVWAN News. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.